Hey, we're live. Hey, I'm Brent. Oh,
Brent
Brent
who?
Leary. Yeah, Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg, but I'm the Paul Greenberg in the CRM world.
Well, I'm glad that you clarified that because there are quite a few Paul Greenbergs in the Paul Greenberg Society there. So
we it's the League of Paul Greenberg Gentlemen,
there it is. And
which literally is nobody.
well,
None of
you're
us are
all
gentlemen.
you're a somebody. You're a godfather. You're a venerable somebody godfather, and
Oh
we
my
are
God.
the CRM players. And now's about the time where we usually check in with the guy that likes to try to well, actually does more than try, but see how our language or linguistic skills are. I'm tap dancing because we're still waiting for that moment of
See,
you know
yeah, well, he's not here. Where the hell is he?
Uh, I, I don't know. I was tap dancing, and now I don't have any more taps to dance to anymore.
Oh my God.
We're gonna
Where
have
the
to call the show. Sorry, folks. We're not gonna be. No, I guess we'll uh, we'll push through even
It's
without
hard
the
though.
moment is Finn. And it's I'm thrown off.
Me
I
too.
can't remember the last time we didn't have a moment is Finn, or maybe it was like only last week or so. Anyway.
No, last week it was Indonesian. So it
Oh, it was
wasn't
2
last
weeks
week.
before. Something happened where we were spinless, which is not
Wow, a new
good.
verb. I mean, a
Yeah,
new adjective. We are finless.
yeah, that's not good.
That means floundering around without purpose.
Well, you know who is here.
I see. Hey, Thomas. I mean, look, we love you, but you're not a moment of sin. I mean,
Yeah,
that's him and him alone. None of us
moment
are him.
mo- moment of Thomas doesn't have the same kind of ring as moment is Finn. Sorry,
But
Thomas.
we do love you, and you
Yeah.
are a brilliant analyst.
Oh, that's right. This is the first show we've done since daylight
Spring,
savings. Oh,
spring, since spring forward. You're
he
right.
might catch us like at the very end.
Oh no.
Well, we could do the moment is Finn at the end, I guess. We could do that. We can be you know, we can roll with the punches, so to speak.
I just realized, by the way, we're testing this new StreamYard thing of I can broadcast to my channels, so the guests can broadcast to their channels. And I was going to broadcast to LinkedIn and Twitter, but I accidentally broadcast to LinkedIn and um, to what do you call it? Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, so this is being
So we're
broadcast
on
on
Twitch
Twitch.
now? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Well,
Do I have to
EV
do
Mux allows you to broadcast to Amazon Live, which ought to be interesting.
yeah, well, that ought to be interesting. But in the meantime, we are live here, and I guess now we're twitching, which is cool. So yeah,
Woof.
there's a town I know where the hipsters go. It's Bedrock, and in it, Twitch. All
Wow.
right, I know that's way too much.
Bedrock.
You know,
Wow.
I'm just feeling good because I busted out this brand new Rams vest that I have.
It's looking good. It
You know what it
really is.
is? I think it's the Michael Strahan collection. I
What?
bought yeah, he's got some kind of. I don't care about his name. I just like the vest, so it was 30% off. I was like, hey, I'm getting it. There's a high. All right, when you come in as LinkedIn user, you got to let us know who you are. That means
Yeah.
your security settings are so stringent that you're not even willing to share your name, which is
So put your name in the comments, please.
yeah. All right. And while you do that, we got two guests today. So we got some, our intro spiel stuff, and then we have our first guest, and I think our first guest will be the first time this guest has been on with us, and then the second guest will be the second time that the guest has been on with us. How you like that symmetry? We got
Wait, so Doug's been on only once, huh?
right.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Well, it came on during Adobe Summit keynote after. Oh, Arun. Thank you for joining us, Arun. Thanks
Wow.
for letting us know, because we were just seeing LinkedIn users, so it's good to see. All right, so before we get all busy with the guests and all, we got we got the stuff to share because the guy is coming up next week.
The guy?
Yeah, the guy, him,
The guy. I've
the
just never
guy.
heard Bob referred to as the guy.
Well, I call him the big guy. You
The
know,
big guy, I could see that. Big guy with the buzz cut.
yeah, it's a nice buzz cut too.
Yeah, no, he his buzz cuts work for him. That's right. His show starts next week. He's still working on finalizing his guest. We know the topic, but we'll wait until the show to let you know what it is.
Yo, that's a bunch of BS.
Uh, 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 uh. I mean, that is going to be the most overused thing we ever have done in very short time.
Well, at the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, folks. You want to be here for the inaugural, the very first episode of No BS with BS.
That's our seventh show for PPN. Yeah, I knew Arun would do that. I knew you were going to do that, Arun. You have no idea what we're talking about because it was all inside jokes.
I know.
Every bit of it.
It was
Thank you
inside
for
baseball.
bringing it to our attention. So, Arun, for you,
Just for you,
this
Arun.
is Bob Stutz. Bob Stutz is pretty much the guy responsible for CRM technology existing. He goes all the way back to Siebel. He has been a leader and a game changer for decades now. He's pretty much managed to turn around and build and rebuild Siebel, SAP, Microsoft, Salesforce. When it comes to CRM related technologies, he understands engagement and CX. He's a very blunt person. So, for example, Arun, again for you here, because a lot of the people on here will know Bob. At one point, when he was president of CX at SAP, he's now retired. He was president of CX at SAP. He was on one of our shows, and he sat there and ripped CX at SAP apart and praised Zoho. Right? So that's how blunt he is. He's the most straightforward guy you'll ever meet, but you know what? Here's the deal. He's pretty much always right. And so you're going to hear a completely unfiltered show. Hey, John, thank you for helping this whole thing happen with our first guest.
Yes.
John is the CEO of Provident. They are a Monday.com and Sugar CRM partner. They may also be Salesforce, but don't hold me to that. I don't really know. John, let us know in the comments. He's brilliant. They have done work with Sugar, for example, where they work with local government in Ireland. And I haven't seen that many instances of Sugar being done public sector. These guys are champions at it. So, John, thank you for your help. Bob, be ready on the 24th.
All right. And before we get to any guests, I have to, play the game that's just sweeping the nation, if not the world. It's gone international.
Oh, God, not again.
It is. I always hesitate before I say the name because I am so wanting to say the wrong name. It's Stomp. No. Damn, I did it again.
You got it wrong again.
I did it again. Stump.
About right.
The game is called Stump, not Stomp. Stump the Godfather. I think I got a good one for you, by the way. I got a real.
I did pretty good last week. HubSpot and Salesforce, Sugar Public Sector.
You did. You did. All right. So I was perusing something or other. I don't even remember where I saw this, but the quote just stood out to me. And the quote is, and you're going to have to give your best guess as to who said this. And anybody else out there watching, Arun, John, Thomas, anyone else, please feel free to put your guess in the comment section. even our guests in the virtual green room. I see Ron in there. Feel free to take a guess.
If you get it right,
so
I'll give you a copy. I will mail you a hardcover copy of my book, my latest book, which is on customer engagement, called The Commonwealth of Self-Interest.
All right.
Free copy. And if I get it right, I'll mail it to myself.
And no asking Chat GPT or Google or Siri, well, Siri wouldn't get it anyway. All right. So here it is. Voice assistants are dumb as a rock.
Now, let me ask one question. Will this someone I might know?
Definitely somebody you know. Definitely somebody you know. So any takers, put it in the comment section. Let us know while we give the venerable Paul Greenberg a chance to marinate on this a little bit.
I don't have a clue.
Voice assistants are dumb. Well, it's not like Jeff Bezos. And I don't think he'd say that.
Well, I mean, there's something about it was an article on Amazon, but I'm trying to assume it's not somebody from Amazon.
I will give you that hint. It is nobody.
Yeah, because that would be pretty much work against their own.
Oh, somebody beat you. Somebody put an answer in. Do you want to put your answer in?
I don't know who it is. So if it's Greg Johnson,
by the way, who's from Boston?
I have to assume it could be Bob.
Is it Boston Bob? Oh man, see somebody.
Greg got it.
Yeah, yes. Greg got it, and LinkedIn user who might be Bob Fagel.
Greg, if you want my book, look. I won't be insulted if you don't, but if you want the book, send me an email at the following email address: Paul@PLAYAZ Productions, all one word, .network. Paul@playazproductions.network with your address, and I will ship it out to you in the next couple of days.
That's Satya Nadella. Voice assistants are, you know what? That's kind of easy for him to say, but we haven't forgotten Cortana either now.
No. Well, that's why he's referring to it that way. Cortana was literally the stupidest voice assistant ever.
I mean, and I was pretty hyped up when
it's kind of an insult to rocks as far as I can tell.
Remember, like when I was doing the ZDNet blog, I was all hyped up on all the voice stuff, and I was like, "Oh wow, Cortana is gonna integrate with it." Yeesh, boy,
yeah,
off on that one. Hey, Sahil.
Sahil, thanks for checking in, dude. I got to meet Sahil in India a few weeks ago. What a great guy! I love.
Look who it is,
Sven.
Oh,
he was obviously. He's putting one up to put one up. German.
I was gonna see. I know that one. I was really, I was gonna guess that. All right, so that's the second of Sven because you kind of lost your time there, Sven. Sorry, so I'm gonna have to keep moving here. And Greg is on board.
All right, Greg, I will ship it out to you probably by Saturday.
Well, we can't get into a full-blown discussion about this because we do have guests and such. But yes, well, Siri.
Who's this LinkedIn user?
I'm guessing it's Bob, right?
I don't know.
Yes, Sven, we knew that when you threw us up.
Thank you, though. But thanks for being there anyway, Sven. We were going a little crazy without you in the beginning.
Yeah, we were a little jittery, but now we've calmed down. So you've settled us in. All right. Should we go to the guests?
Yeah.
Or we can also set the guest up with no, I had another one, but I'm not going to go to that one because it's.
What do you mean?
I had another stump.
Oh no, let's not. Let us not do that one.
All right. So why don't you introduce our first guest? And I don't know our first guest at all, but I have a statement to make about our first guest after you do the intro, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
But go with it.
We'll
do this.
Well, actually, I've never met our first guest either. His name is Ron Kimhe. He's the product lead at Monday.com. But the reason that we wanted to bring him on is that he's the product lead for CRM, Forgot to say that. The reason why I bring him on is Monday.com is making a hell of an impression when it comes to CRM. And for those of you who have who know Monday.com, a lot of you probably know it from the, kind of from the task management side, although I've used it that way over a couple of years, all in all. But they're really a lot more than that. And as a result of that, what they've done is they've actually built out the templates and the foundational, built into some of the processes, and done a pretty good job with building out a CRM system that a lot of businesses are beginning to adopt, partly for its simplicity and partly for its efficacy, right? So, and again, super flexible platform is what you really have with Monday.com. Again, I haven't met Ron. I am really looking forward to talking to him. So I can't say how much I love him because I don't know him yet. Right?
Well, all right. So unfortunately, he doesn't get the full venerable treatment because you just don't know him as well. Maybe the next time he comes on the show, based on what he says.
Well, that's fine. Yes, that's right.
So before we bring him on, this is what I wanted to say about our next guest, who I have never talked to, never met. But this picture, this is his LinkedIn profile. Doesn't it look like this would be some kind of stock photo image? I mean, it looks like, is he like a model or something going on?
I know.
That is a stock image.
He's got that thing going where all you can look at him is go, don't I wish?
It's such a good picture. It's like most people LinkedIn profile pictures do not look like that.
No, he literally looks so happy too. I mean, it's like so happy,
and it's a really good It's a good pose. Whoever took the picture must have said something really funny because he's got the natural laugh look there, and that gives me the opportunity before we bring it on to say tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, is the second Players Gear Show, which is called what again?
It's called Up from the Rabbit Hole.
Up from the Rabbit Hole. And what are we going to be focusing on tomorrow?
Cameras.
There it is.
And you're looking at a great shot from a camera.
That's the kind of shot that you want. And that's the one I want for my LinkedIn profile. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest, Ron. Ron, thank you for joining us.
Oh, man.
Hey, guys.
You ruined us already.
So pleasure to meet you.
It's mutual. So you're in New York right now, though, right? You're not in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I'm in the New Monday office over here. We have 4 floors, mid-New York.
Where in Midtown?
It's right near... it's a good question. It's the 18th Street, I think, on the 27th.
Oh, so you're downtown, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
Down Soho-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm from New York originally, so anyone in New York automatically I love them. So you're right in there. So welcome first, and second, stop taking such good pictures and making us all.
Yeah, let me ask you before we jump into the trivial CRM stuff. But explain how this picture came about, because this is like the perfect kind of LinkedIn profile pic. There's good smiling, a great background. I kind of cropped out because you can see the whole screen, all the screens you got there. How did this come about? Because I want one like this.
This is how I want that people will look at when they're using their CRM. Super happy, super satisfied,
wow.
And if we're together, we'll be in a really good place.
Top marketing guy too, I can see. Right. So, I mean, we've used Monday.com more on for our network. It was for the last year or so. It had been our more of our task management tool, not so much the CRM side per se, which is ironic given who we are. But what first of all possessed you guys to even think about getting into the CRM world to begin with, and how did you manage to do that from there?
This is such a great question. So Monday.com .com is in the CRM sphere for about, I think, 5 years. We saw users who are doing everything in their capacity in order to transform Mondays, this task management tool, into their CRM. And they did enormous workarounds, were willing to went through enormous pains in order to transform it into that really visual, easy to use, customizable pipeline management platform. And we started to speak to those people and understand that the CRM industry, I would say it's slightly broken. Why? Because there are such few people who love using those platforms on a daily basis, both on the higher management side, but also the people who are on the front lines, the reps, are suffering on a daily basis. And we saw that as an amazing opportunity for us. As the platform who saw people run away to, we decided to bring them the tools in order to manage their entire sales processes and CRM workflows from A to Z inside one single platform. And this is our approach, essentially.
So you're focused on the sales side of CRM specifically.
Yeah, so I think it's in the name. Monday Sales CRM is a product that we are going to the market with. This is the main focus, but I think that the philosophy that we are coming with is that it's going to be a unified CRM. So you could manage your entire sales processes from the lead qualification all the way to the post-sales processes in one single platform. So in traditional CRMs, once that you click on that closed one button, you are in a problem. What's going on? Excel sheets, communications in emails, Slacks, and many more other platforms, and work management platforms like Asana, Monday, ClickUp, and so on. We want to bring all of these processes into one unified place where all communication is streamlined, and the account managers, the legal, the finance, any team that needs to collaborate with sales after that the deal was closed one could collaborate seamlessly in one single platform.
So so you focus more toward small and mid-sized business? Are you planning anything? I actually, that generally, actually, also second part of that question, as generally, just Monday.com as a whole, how do you have enterprise customers? I mean, and again, I'm talking about the U.S. version of enterprise, not Europe's. The much bigger,
the giants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good. So I think that we see, firstly, of course, when we started, we saw mostly SMBs, hands down. Now, when we've increased significantly our investment toward the capabilities that mid-market companies need, the control, the outreach, we're starting to see many more of those, especially in our touch funnel. So Monday, we have our self-serve funnel and our touch funnel with sales. In sales, we're starting to see a lot mid-market companies. In terms of enterprises, it's not our focus yet. However, we do see specific teams who have these very long sales cycles that the deal looks much more like a project than as a deal. And this is where we are shine like crazy, because we have much better tools than traditional CRM in order to manage these kinds of processes. So it wouldn't be a company-wide with enterprises, but it would be specific teams.
So you said you've been around with CRM for about 5 years. That's kind of surprising to me, because I know I knew at least a year ago about you guys from a CRM perspective, but I didn't realize you've been involved for that long. Who are you mostly, do you feel, compared to, or do you see that you're competing with?
So when I'm saying that Monday is in the CRM space for 5 years, I want to make sure that the answer is concise. We saw people who are trying to manage their CRM on Monday, and we had CRM campaigns for the past 5 years. But as a full-blown CRM, we launched a CRM product May last year. So this is when we are starting to be a full-fledged CRM. Who are our competitors? I think that all the any business that is looking for a CRM these days, who is SMBs or mid-market, will see a bunch of options and will be one of these options. And then it depends of their needs. If they are looking for a customizable, easy to use CRM, I think this is where we really shine. If they're looking for amazing marketing automation capabilities, they will most probably go with HubSpot. But we also see many companies who are doing those marketing automations with HubSpot and then move to Monday, or with Marketo or Active Campaigns and then bring those qualified leads into Monday. And then there are benefit from all of our platform capabilities, from the rep level all the way to the manager level, who has much more accessible CRM, so they can get their reports much easier, they can collaborate with their team much easier, which is a big pain point that we see that it's starting to surface more and more and more with the digitization of businesses. And also in the ops level, because CRM are hard to operate, hard to integrate with. And Monday is, if we are comparing ourselves to the red benchmark, are much more easily to customize, both in terms of integrations, automations, and processes in general, and it's a massive benefit for the operation people.
So I know you have some on the task management side, given I've used it pretty actively. You have some integrations there and applications that you integrate with, I should say. What about on CRM though? Because ultimately, look, if you're looking at CRM, it's sales, marketing, customer service. I mean, it tends to be focused on sales only because that was the very first CRM technology, but that's only 1/3 of the major pillars. And now e-commerce is coming in as far as integration goes. Do you integrate with, say, a marketing platform? Do you integrate with potentially a customer service platform? Since a lot of people, although a little dicey, but a lot of people talk about the conjunction of sales and service. I mean, how does that work?
So I think it's a really good question. In terms of marketing, so Monday can be integrated to all the major marketing campaigns platforms, from HubSpot to Active Campaigns, so on. We also see many users that use Make and Zapier in order to make sure that their leads are coming into the right place. We also have a very robust integration with Supermetrics, who provide both the marketing campaign analytics inside Monday and bring in those leads already tagged in order for the SDRs or the people that are starting the funnel to cope with. So in that regard, we see it this way, and it's working. However, we will next year, 2024, we'll start to focus our efforts also to provide much more powerful tools specifically for the upper funnel. I'll say it this way. Regarding service, it's a really good point as well, because we see many of these customers. I will separate the question to two. When it comes to account management, it's been done in Monday, and they have amazing tools to do it. Amazing. When it comes to service, we see we can solve some of it. It's not great yet, to be completely honest. And we see some integration into Zendesk and others, but ticketing is one of the things that I'm sure that in the next phase of Monday Sales CRM, we'll build our capabilities also toward that specific pillar. And it's going to be extremely powerful.
Okay. One last question before we wrap up is, I mean, look, one of the things that Brent and I look at a lot is the culture of companies, right? Because, ultimately, there's a lot of companies producing CRM technology out there, and it's like a lot. And arguably, they offer broadly, not necessarily in terms of efficiencies, but they offer broadly the same capabilities, broadly. There's always nuances, and there's always some are better than others and so on. But But the thing that differentiates companies isn't their technology, it's their culture, right? So what's the just tell us some stories about the culture of Monday. I mean, what's it like? What are you doing work in public service? Are you have I mean, I'm sure you're not going to tell me all your employees are unhappy, but if you
Look
do
at the
that,
picture.
we'll call that a scoop. That's right. That's what happens when they get unhappy. They just show the picture, right? And then everybody smiles right after they see your picture, right? So tell us a little bit. It's the second to last question. Tell us a little bit about the culture.
So I think that the culture in Monday is, I think everyone are extremely driven. Firstly, when it comes to our social service, every time now that there was the earthquake in Turkey, we sent a team that set up Monday for those teams to operate because it's so fast to customize and to build processes on. We did the same in Ukraine. My tech lead flew there with the entire team to make sure that we are making the entire process of bringing people from Kiev to Poland to streamline this entire process with automations, integrations. They built it in 2 days. And these are the things that are giving our work a second layer of impact. In terms of how that we are looking at those business challenges, we built an entire company structure within Monday just in order to operate the Monday Sales CRM. From I have a creative team, I have multiple product marketing managers, everything that we need in order to move extremely fast, extremely driven. Everyone are aligned, from the person who is writing the ad all the way to the developer. They're in the same meetings, the same weekly meetings, getting updates from where we are going towards to. And I honestly believe when there is such an amazing alignment, it's a great way to build disruptive products. Now, I'm in the New York office training our sales rep about everything they need to do about Monday Sales CRM. So it's a product manager who come here, not an external person to the team who is coming to help those client-facing team to operate. And we believe that with that very close relationship, amazing things can be done.
Okay, after all this, we should have a chat offline sometime soon. But we do have one last question we have to ask.
And
okay,
that
Brent?
last question is, do you have a favorite NFL team?
Yes, it's the New York.
The Giants or the Jets?
The Jets.
Wow. Wait a minute. Are you just saying that because Aaron Rodgers is going to be coming to the Jets, or are you a real Jets fan here?
I think I just got their hat sometimes in the past few years. It just got.
Well, hey, that's a perfectly fine answer. It's just one that we typically don't hear because there ain't that many Jets fans out there. But hey, you passed the test. We will love to have you back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize right now because I do remember, I think somebody from your PR staff emailing me about Monday CRM last year. And I don't know if I actually answered that email, but I am definitely looking forward to now, learning more about it. Because you guys, you might have a bit of a challenge. If you equate Mondays to CRM or CRM to Monday, that's a tough one.
It's usually the last thing anybody wants to look at on a Monday.
Right. But I am very excited about checking it out. So thanks again. And of course, I guess people can go to monday.com to learn more about all
yeah,
it's about.
Very easy. Yeah, we'll contact you afterwards, and thank you so much, Ron. Absolutely. It was great. It was absolutely great.
I've enjoyed so much. Thank you so.
We will talk to you soon, man.
All right. That was cool. That was very interesting.
Really cool.
And I'm looking forward to. I really am looking forward to learning more about what's going on with them. But before that, how do you like that segue? That was pretty good.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man.
So we've been to a lot of Adobe Summits in the past. Remember? My first one, I remember Utah like Salt Lake
Yeah,
City.
Salt Lake City. That's right.
And
That's
I
fine
loved
too.
it there. It was really cool. Remember, because you
Utah.
could walk to the where the Utah Jazz play. So every year, I would actually make, if they were in town, I would make sure I got a ticket to see the Jazz play.
Oh, I see. I didn't do that. That was actually, you're way smarter than me. I should have done that. I mean, I went. Salt Lake City is just a great town. I really enjoyed
It
it.
really is.
I can't say that I like Vegas better because I don't. In fact, I can't stand Vegas still, except for the restaurants. I will always say, except for the restaurants. But I remember Indianapolis and Salt Lake City always had the same idea of rush. They said, "Oh, it's rush hour," and you know what rush hour was in each of these cities? It's like where two people were crossing the street where the light was green. Right, that was rush hour.
It's like rush minute.
It's rush second, right? It's like two people equal busy. I was just but a great town, and now,
but
now
they've
outgrown it.
It's so before the pandemic hit, the last couple of years, it had moved from Salt Lake City to Vegas, and then of course the pandemic. So for 20, 21, and 22, it was virtual. So for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be back in Vegas, and we're going to be there. But before we go there, we want to get the scoop. You know, we want to learn a little bit more about what we should do, what we should be on the lookout for. So our next guest is going to help with that. So back to you, Venerable One.
Well, I will tell you something. This gentleman has been on our show before. He is the best way to put it is he knows his stuff really well, and he's a great. What you will see when you get him, look, he may not have that amazing photo shot, but he's equally as happy and cheerful. And he's a wonderful guy. Doug Anderson is a product lead at Adobe. He is also he's been the thing about him, which makes him more than just like an employee of Adobe, is he's often the guy you speak with in public, who you'll hear from in public, because he's so personable and he's so smart. And Doug Anderson, come on in, let's talk. See, look at that. I mean, it's not as high quality a photo. It's kind of grab, but look at that smile completely stands out. And you know what? He has perfect teeth. Yeah, look at those teeth. Good. They're perfect.
Teeth are good. All right. Well, we better bring out Mr.
Doug. Come on, man. There he is, the man with perfect teeth again.
Paul,
good to see you again.
Paul and Brent, it's great to be here. I brushed just before I came on. Brushed and flossed.
Yeah. See, now it really brings some joy to my heart. He actually, flossed for us. So.
See, my teeth are all fake, so I can't actually floss. I can't even floss my teeth because they're all fake. So there's nothing in between. Wow. No space.
I learn every week on CRM Players. It's
what can I tell you?
You floss once a month, and then you just have to remind yourself, I don't remember eating that much blood.
Wow.
Yeah, we're off to a shiny start here.
That's right. Doug represents the vampire division of SAP,
right.
Adobe.
Well, thanks for taking time. I know actually coming off the heels of a really good earnings report. Everybody's very positive about the earnings report. It's riding right into the summit for the first time face to face in 4 years. So what's it going to be like? What's going to be different this year from like the previous years of the summit in Vegas and Salt Lake City?
Yeah. You said Salt Lake City. Before that, I think it was up at Snowbird, which is up the canyon from Park City. That's where the original might have been. And then they went to the downtown, and then it got big enough that we didn't fit there. So we went to Vegas. As you say, 4 years. The last time we were live in Summit, Brad Rencher was the general manager of the digital.
That's right.
The digital experience side. And so this will be, since then, we've had Anil Chakravarti as the senior VP and president of the business unit. And this will be his first live summit. He's done lots of live events with customers and others, but this will be his first live summit. So that's one big change that will come. This will be a hybrid summit where you can tune into everything online. You go to the just summit.adobe.com. You can get all the keynotes. You can get the super sessions. You can get the sneaks just online for free. You can also get all the sessions, but they're going to be tape delayed. So you get those after they upload all of those sessions. And I said super sessions. Traditionally we've had a really big keynote on the first day, and we went through all the products and all the announcements, and it could be 3 hours long. That is just too long for anybody to sit in a chair. I mean, what do you think we're doing with baseball today, right? We instituted a pitch clock because games were too long. We've done that to ourselves. So that's why we.
So are you implementing a kind of a pitch count on the sessions? Like
we're shooting for under 2 hours, and we've created these super sessions, which we've done in a virtual way recently. But this year they're going to be live. So the main keynote is going to be under 2 hours, and it's going to be just the really top line stuff, cool demos. And then there's going to be a series of what we call super sessions, which is they're going to be 6 of them, and they're going to be product focused, for content and for analytics and commerce and journeys, B2B, that sort of thing, platform. Those are going to have their own kind of large room, big sessions where they can dive in. Each of those will have an Adobe expert speaker. We'll have a customer at each of those. There will be a really cool demo in each of those. And then there's going to be a day 2 keynote that Anil will host again, but we're going to see Shantanu there. We're going to see Amit Ahuja there. He's the senior VP of product. And then traditionally we have really cool guest speakers that day, and this is no exception. We're going to have some really cool stuff going on. It'll be, wow, who are all the cool people we're having? We're having Aaron Sorkin. And whenever I think of Aaron Sorkin, when I tell people we're having Aaron Sorkin, they say, "Oh, are you going to get to go backstage and meet him?" And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is meet Aaron Sorkin, because literally, I mean, he is one of my heroes. I love Aaron Sorkin, genius, great writer. And what I'm afraid of is I would get in front of Aaron Sorkin and just say,
yeah.
And
just
then
walk
that would
down
be
the
it.
hall with him. Just walk down the hall with him.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
I would ask him, hey, I'm going to get a little video instead of a selfie with him. I want to do a walk and talk with him.
Is that he's behind the West Wing, right?
Yeah, he was the guy.
In fact, in one of the West Wing episodes, they were shooting a press conference, and the guy that writes the head of NASA's stuff is there, and he says to Sam Seaborn, who's President Bartlett's writer, "Hey, we're both writers." And Sam Seaborn says, "If you expand that definition to include people who spell," that's how I would feel if I met Aaron Sorkin. But Aaron Sorkin is going to be there. He's the guy behind, so many great things. And there's also going to be some other cool people. Well, for Sneaks, somebody mentioned Sneaks. There's going to be, we had scheduled Shaquille O'Neal. That would have been really cool. Yeah. But I'm actually personally more excited about Tig Notaro, who is amazing and super funny. And she continues our streak of bringing the funny to Sneaks. Not that Shaq isn't funny. She's funny.
Kind of scary funny.
Shaq, I've seen Shaq at 2 different industry events. He is great.
Yeah, we're gonna miss Shaq, but I don't feel like we're really suffering too much by getting Tig Notaro.
Well, you also don't you have that kid from the Bills?
We do. So, and not just the kid from the Bills, DeMar Hamlin, the one who
DeMar Hamlin,
remember suffered the heart. Well, I don't know if I know exactly what, but he almost died on the field.
Yeah,
the Buffalo Bills player.
His heart stopped.
He's doing well. He's up and around. He's coming live to speak, but he's not just speaking. Peyton Manning is interviewing him.
That's awesome.
Even better.
So that'll be really cool.
Although I would have preferred Eli, but okay.
So when they told me they were getting Peyton Manning, my first offering was, you got to get his brother.
Yes,
they are great together. You get double the fun. That would have been really good.
A Manning cast with him.
They're also getting Angela Duckworth, who you may remember from a couple years ago. She was on the New York Times bestseller list. She talks about grit and how grit is maybe the most important factor in success, more than maybe education or IQ or some other things. She's a big proponent of grit, so she's going to be speaking. Anyway, it's going to be very cool. And you know what's hot in in the news these days. The one thing that everybody wants to talk about is Gen AI. So that will be front and center. There will be a big part of that in day one keynote. It'll be mentioned whenever, because, you know, it's like when we launched Sensei a few years back, I don't know how many, 5 years back, but that wasn't the launch of Adobe's artificial intelligence or machine learning capabilities. That was simply the packaging. That's the framework.
Right.
So all the algorithms, all of the different capabilities get packaged under there. It's the same with Gen AI, especially on the digital media side, on the Creative Cloud side, where we've done a ton of this already. But we're going to have some major announcements for Gen AI. And on the second day, in fact, there's going to be an extended demo of capabilities of Gen AI and Experience Cloud and Creative Cloud. So that'll be right up there. But one thing you're going to hear a lot about that we maybe, I don't know if we've talked about this a bunch, but you know, the macro environment has changed. For a couple of years, the go early 2020s, it was just growth at any cost. Everybody was doubling their workforce, and maybe it's coming home a little bit right now. But what we're going to talk about is this idea of profitable growth. It's not growth at any cost. Yeah, and we believe that the way to grow profitably is to improve your customer experience, because maybe even in this day especially, retention is the new growth, right? Retention is the new up. We have huge companies for customers who don't really expect to grow the customer base so much as they expect to grow into the customer base. And that's kind of their focus. So that's going to be a huge theme, is this idea of experience is what gets you there, that growth comes from an improved customer experience.
Well, that'll differentiate you pretty heavily from the current themes you hear when it comes to profitability. In any case, you're not really hearing the word growth associated with much, but you're hearing efficiency and profitability as the foundation, so that your profitable growth through experience will make you stand out pretty far from the current climate.
Yeah, we hope so, and it has the benefit of being something we actually believe in our bones. Right. That's what we do. It's who we are.
Yeah, I actually, the way you phrase it, grow into your customer base as opposed to growing your customer base, that's a really cool way of putting it, because it makes it's easy to comprehend. You know, the tighter you can with your current customer base, probably be more profitable than trying out and rustling up new customers at this point.
If you put them on a wheel, and we're gonna probably, you know, on a big screen graphic, if you showed acquisition, engagement, retention, you know, acquisition is something you do, but engagement and retention are really kind of where we feel like that's. And so efficiency, great. Cost efficiency, all that, great. But and so you should be focused on that. And maybe that's where Gen AI comes in too, right? The point is not I can do this with 10 less people. The point is that my 10 people can do this 10 times as productively.
Right. Exactly.
I hear the word co-pilot getting thrown around, and that's kind of the idea, is that Gen AI should be something that makes you smarter, makes you faster, and takes care of maybe some of the repetitive work for you.
Well, you know, I'll tell you this, to be honest, I'm completely sick and tired of hearing about Gen AI and ChatGPT at this point. But that said, if I remember when Sensei was released, I was blown away by how mature it was. Right. It wasn't a new product you were testing. It was, to your point, actually, may have been the packaging, but you've done it for a while. And what you were able to do with it at release was astounding. So if your generative AI is anything like that, it will be pretty amazing. I mean, you got a pretty hefty legacy there to compare to. So, because Sensei's been terrific from day one of its announcement.
That's great to hear. You know, and we think of Gen AI as being part of Sensei for us. Yeah. It's like Sensei is the bigger framework, and Gen AI is one of the aspects of that. Yeah. And while the first thing that might come to mind is text, you know, I'm going to write my high school physics paper, or it might be images, like I'm going to, you know, give me 10,000 versions of this image that fit my audience. But it can be more than that. It can be, I need you to give me a first draft of my campaign so I can take off from a much higher spot, or I need you to analyze these segments in a way that get me started faster. So there's a lot in the DX side that we're really excited about. So I think you're going to see cool stuff.
Hey, we know that Microsoft and Adobe have had this significant partnership for years at this point. Microsoft has made a hefty investment in open AI and
Yeah.
generative AI, and you guys are going to be talking about it a lot next week. What should we know about how you guys partner around generative AI?
I would love to know the answer to that question. And if I did know the answer to that question, I would love to be able to tell you the answer to that question. Last year we did a summit watch party, and then we talked after. This year we're talking before. So obviously there's some things that I might have on my notepad that I can't say out loud, but we are real Microsoft partners. Like we for a long time we've been doing this, and Shantanu and
Satya.
tell me. Yes, Satya. I mean, they're already friends. They golf together, but that's the friendly side of it. But we work with Microsoft all the time, and I don't expect that to change. But I don't know. I mean, the future looks bright for the Gen AI partnership, but I don't know what that future necessarily.
No, it's only us. You could tell us. Nobody else is here.
Yes, I've seen your numbers. I know how this goes.
So how many people are you actually expecting to attend Summit?
So we actually, I don't know if this is just because we're just back in the water this year, but they capped it at 10,000. And I think I think we might actually have reached 10,000. So there's not going to be any like walk-in kind of traffic, but so 10,000, we fully expect the room to have at least 10,000 people in it. And then, as I said, the online audience is already much bigger than that. I don't know how big that'll get, but we expect a lot.
Yeah. Is there any truth to the rumor that there's been a special keynote session added feature the CEOs of Silicon Valley Bank and Credit Suisse? And,
it's fun. I was just reading Bloomberg News a little bit ago, and no. I have a brother that worked for First Boston for a long time, and then after they got acquired by Credit Suisse, so I follow them a little bit. But we're getting off topic, but I hear that Switzerland is going to back Credit Suisse, so I guess there's not going to be a run.
Right. I think the governments are making at least the appropriate statements. We'll see what actually happens. But
insert witty street protester saying here, right?
Yeah. So what do you actually, just from a personal standpoint, what's the thing that you're personally, and it could be a little thing like eating at this restaurant or doing this. What's the thing you're personally looking forward to the most at Summit?
So you mentioned just before about Vegas, right? That you feel like I think most of us do, which is if I got to go to Vegas, at least the food is good.
Right.
Right. And at least I'm not paying for it when I go there for this. So
amen there too.
I'm gonna eat off the top of the menu. So I mean, I do love the food, but you know what I'm looking forward to is the day one keynote, because I'm on the team that's helping to write it. So I want to hear, and I've never seen Anil live because he's, it's all been the last 3 years. So I'm super excited. He brings really great energy to the stage. And so I'm going to be right up front, and I'm really excited to see the day one keynote with Anil.
By the way, did you get any writing pointers from Aaron Zworkin? So
yes, but so here's the thing. I've been doing this for a little while, and I try to work in stuff to scripts and blog posts and things like that. And I try to sneak them past the editors. and every now and again it works, right? At sales conference, I got a couple I got a couple of Star Wars references in that I think people didn't notice until I pointed them out. So I don't have any great tips that I can really implement from Aaron Sorkin, except for to talk fast and be smart. But I do have some things that I do try. I try to work into those. So I'm going to look forward to if they make it there, I'm going to send you guys a message and let you know that it got in.
That was me.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Easter eggs. Right. That's awesome. I mean, so I know we're going to show up, and we're going to,
and we'd love to meet you, by the way.
There's going to be a reception, I think, Tuesday night that we should connect at.
All right. Yes. All right. So that's the other thing we're talking about. We have to see the facilities and stuff, but we may be doing a watch party. And if we are, we may need a spokesperson on the watch party to come follow, just to let you know in advance. Again, I'm
Especially-
not promising.
Yeah, especially
let's
a
say this.
person that has written part of this thing. That would be
Right.
really-
Because it's going to be based on a keynote on the 20th. It's the keynote. Wait a minute.
It's the
I think it's the
21st,
keynote. The morning, the
Yeah,
early
Tuesday
keynote
morning.
on the 21st.
right? Yep.
Yeah, that one.
That's
Is that the
main.
one?
That's him.
Okay.
All right, that's awesome.
All right. So that's our likely thing, right?
I'll
Which would
have
be
your
really
people
cool.
talk to my people, or my people talk to your people.
You're talking to our people right now.
Well, turns out you are probably too.
That's right. Brent talks to me. I talk to Brent. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. We have very limited social life.
Right.
Well, we really appreciate you taking time to do this. I know it's a busy time period, scripting everything out for the keynote. That's got to be pretty cool.
I am happy to be here. It is a welcome diversion from that.
Awesome.
I think you and I also are doing a follow-up after the conference.
I think so. I think Blake set that
Yeah.
up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, on the 27th, I want to say. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the date.
I won't, but my people will
Thank
tell
you.
me.
Doug, I hope you're doing that from like Hawaii on a beach or
Right.
something.
So I live in the Salt Lake area, and I'm driving down because I like to ride bikes. I'm going to ride my bike for a little bit while I'm down there, and then I'm going to spend the following week.
Wait, you're going to ride your bike in Vegas?
There's not in Vegas, but out in the Red Rocks area, there's some really cool terrain out there. I ride mountain bikes mostly, and I'm going to bring a bike and head out there.
Wow.
So,
How long?
it's it's 5. It depends on how you drive it, but it's about 5-6 hours from where I am.
So it's like from where I am to Philadelphia is about that. No, actually, from where I am to New York is about that. Not
That
Philadelphia.
gives you plenty of time to like think of things to put into the keynote too.
I am going to listen maybe to some Aaron Sorkin podcast or something. On my way down.
Awesome.
Hopefully the keynote is locked by then.
Well, Doug, thanks again, and looking forward to next week and getting a chance to meet you. And take care. Get some rest because I'm sure it's going to be a huge week next week.
It will be. But thanks for having me, and I look forward to meeting you guys at the Tuesday night thing. So let's find each other.
We'll absolutely see you there, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Man.
Thanks.
That was great.
She's
great.
Is that Alexa?
I do not from here.
So before we go, since this is going to be our first summit back in 4 years, what are you looking forward to?
The food in Vegas? No, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing. Look, Adobe's always interesting, right? I mean, the thing about them is, how to put it, their take on things is just because it's got such a. They're kind of, like most of the conferences we go to are B2B of some kind, and these are not strictly B2C, but they're B2B2C, right? Meaning it's that entire range, and it's both ends and in the middle too, and it makes it just a very different take on everything. And it's a lot of that shows up in sneaks, and things like that. And I always look forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to just seeing some of the people we know at Adobe and basically covering what they're talking about. They're a fascinating company. Took them a while to get to become number 5. They were big 4.5, big 4.8, big 4.9, made big 5. Now we're big 6, but service now being 6. But what about you? I mean, do you have anything specific you're looking forward to, or just?
You know what? If you have to go to Vegas, going to Vegas in March is a good time of the year to go.
Yeah.
Good weather time.
Yes.
And then, like you said, it's sort of like the first Dreamforce back. It's, after 3 or 4 years, it's just cool to get back and to see the folks you haven't seen in a while and to hear what's going on and start to, I don't necessarily compare. I mean, you do to a certain extent what each company is doing, but it's the aggregate of what you hear from all these companies at these big events that really gives you a pretty interesting indication of where things seem to be going and shaping up. And Adobe is one of those companies that definitely from the content creation standpoint, and now the experience stuff. They're a shaper of this stuff now.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
you want to see what they have in store and how they're thinking and what they're rolling out, and then how does that shape the overall industry? So yeah, I'm looking forward to
I am totally with you on that. Look, they're not perfectly positioned, but they are probably the most well-positioned, significant company when it comes to adjusting and aligning with the market as it's evolving and with the world as it's changing. And they're really in a pretty good spot for that, where the other companies have a lot further to go than they do. Doesn't mean, again, they're not perfectly there, but they're further along than pretty much companies of equivalent size.
Yeah, that and this, I think it is a unique partnership they have with Microsoft.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly due to the CEOs and their relationship. And so I think that plays in a lot of what you just said. They may not be on their own. They may not be, perfectly positioned, because no company is, but take what they've done and see what they're doing with the Figma acquisition and the partnership with Microsoft and whatever the generative AI meshing is between the two. There's a lot of potential for Adobe.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Interesting to see. All right. So with all that said, yeah, it was great to hear from Doug, wasn't it? Oh, actually, Greg Johnson. Great to hear Greg. We have great tech lineup ready, and Tig Notaro. There's man, Doug is already commenting. You got to give him credit for that.
He's working it. Yeah. Working it. He's working the crowd.
Get back
You're
there,
working the crowd, Doug.
You need that script done. Aaron is like waiting to see the script. But anyway, no, looking forward to it. So next Thursday, I think we'll both be on a plane, so we won't be around. But hopefully, at the event, maybe you'll catch. Maybe we'll be able to do something. We're hoping to do a little
working on it
thing, but we'll see. You'll have to stay tuned. All right. And on that note, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
That's Minnie. And we will see you from Vegas, hopefully, next week. Bye. And bye, Minnie. Minnie won't be there. She'll be there in spirit.